Hi children, welcome to today's class. Today we will do the topics types of natural resources, resource conservation and sustainable development. So in the last class we studied on geography chapter 1. What all we studied? We studied on types of resources. They are broadly classified into natural, human made and human. I hope you all read that portion very well last time's class. Today we will start on types of natural resources. Natural resources are broadly classified into on the basis of level of development, origin, stock and distribution. Natural resources are classified on the basis of level of development, origin, stock and distribution. Now, on the basis of level of development, natural resources are classified into actual and potential resources. Children, take page number 2, types of resources. Here you can see resources are classified into natural, human made and human. And the next paragraph, natural resources, take that portion. What is natural resources? Last class we underlined. Now, natural resources are classified into different groups depending upon level of development and use, origin, stock and distribution. Underline that full sentence. Now, on the basis of level of development, natural resources are classified into two types. One is actual, another one is potential. Actual and potential. On the level of development, natural resources are classified into actual and potential resources. Here actual resources means what? Actual resources are those resources whose quantity is known to us. That is, they are used in the present. We are using it at present. The quantity of these resources are known to us. Coming to potential resources, these resources are there in the nature, but we don't know how to use it. Actually, we don't have enough technology to utilize it. For example, potential, you can say uranium found in Ladakh. Uranium resources are there, but we are not using it present. Actual resources, we can give the example of dark soils in Deccan Plateau. Dark soils in Deccan Plateau, the quantity is known. We have studied in class 6 and 7 about this. Yes, black soil in Deccan Plateau is used for cotton cultivation. Clear? Now, after a certain time, actual resources can be converted, like potential resources can be converted into actual resource. For example, windmills. You can see windmills while going to Tamil Nadu region. Yes, so windmills are developed. Now, I think last 200 years back only it started developing. Earlier the high speed winds were not utilized properly. We don't know how to generate electricity out of that. So, energy was not developed earlier from wind. Now, you can see what the windmills are there in the region of Tamil Nadu. So, this potential can be converted into actual. So, please do underline, children. On the basis of level of development, and resources can be classified into two groups, actual resources and potential resources. Page number 2, third paragraph. Now, underline actual resources are those resources whose quantity is known. First point, actual resources, quantity is known. First point. Second point, they are used in present. So, 2 points you can mark here. 2 points there. Quantity is known, used in present. Give one example also. Write one example. Dark soil in Deccan Plateau. Dark soil is an example. In which plateau? In Deccan region. Clear? Now, potential resources, underline whose entire quantity may not be known. Underline first point. The entire quantity may not be known and are not used in present. Second point, Because one reason is level of technology is not that much developed. So, underline that point also. The level of technology we have at present may not be advanced enough to easily utilize these resources. Example, uranium found in Ladakh. Here also 2 points you need to underline, and example you can put uranium found in Ladakh. You can write uranium in Ladakh. So, here also 2 points, underline. Now, potential resources can be converted into actual. With the time and technology we can convert these resources. Coming to origin, based on origin resources can be classified as, first one, abiotic, second one is biotic. This we have studied from 6, 7 all the classes. I think even science you study about this. Abiotic resources are non-living things such as rocks, minerals, soil. All these are abiotic resources. Biotic are the living things such as plants and animals. So, underline this, based on origin resources can be abiotic or biotic. Abiotic resources are non-living while biotic are living. Give 2 examples for both. Soils and rocks you can give example for abiotic. Biotic you can write down plants and animals. Like that, underline. Now, coming to stock, resources can be classified into renewable and non-renewable. Non-renewable. So, renewable and non-renewable. Now, what is renewable resources? The resources which can be replenished quickly, that is water abundant in nature, like water, air, sunlight, all these are there in the renewable resources. Now, coming to non-renewable resources, they are resources which can get exhausted. So, underline, non-renewable resources are those which have a limited stock. Or once the stock exhausted, it may take thousands of years to be renewed or replenished. Underline, renewable resources are those which get renewed or replenished quickly. Underline, solar and wind energy are examples of renewable resources. Now, water, we can say it is a renewable resource. Water is a renewable resource, but what happens? You can see there are scarcity of water everywhere. Why? Because water bodies, they may be dry up, or they may due to pollution we don't get enough fresh water. So, that there is a chance that this renewable resources can be exhausted. Now, on the basis of distribution, resources can be classified into ubiquitous or localized. On the basis of ubiquitous or localized. Ubiquitous are those resources which are present everywhere. For example, air we breathe, sunlight, all these are ubiquitous resources. But localized means what? They are found in certain parts only, certain regions of the country you can see localized, like coal mines, then gold mines, all these minerals you can find, copper and iron ore, all these are localized resources. So, children, please do underline, on the basis of distribution, resources can be ubiquitous or localized. Resources that are found everywhere, like air we breathe, are ubiquitous. So, ubiquitous means they are found everywhere, everywhere you can find these resources. But localized means they are found in certain parts only. So, these are the classification of natural resources. First one, on the basis of level of development, resources are classified into actual and potential resources. Actual means we have given 2 points there. They are quantities known, they are used in present. Potential also, you may not be known the exact quantity, and with time and technology we can develop these resources. Coming to origin, origin resources are classified into what? First one, second one, origin resources are classified into biotic, abiotic resources. Abiotic are non-living, biotic are living, living and non-living. Non-living resources. Now, stock, renewable and non-renewable, distribution, ubiquitous or localized resources. Hope you all understood this portion. Children, please do underline. You may get 5 marks question out of this. Classification of natural resources or differentiation for 1 or 2 marks. 3 marks you can get the differentiation of any 2 natural resources. So, you need to understand properly what are the differentiation on the basis of all this level of development, origin, stock and distribution. Now, next topic is page number 3 is over. Here stock of resources given in the glossary. Please do put a underline this points. It is the amount of resources available for use. Stock means amount of resources available for use. Now, human made and human last class we discussed. In the types of resources we already discussed. So, page number 4 we are not taking now, it is already been done in the last class. Now, next is conservation of resources. What do you mean by resource conservation? You all know if we use resources carelessly, what will happen? This become what? Scarce. Resources will not be there in the nature. Renewable resources will also get vanished. And non-renewable resources, we know it takes thousands of years to form these resources. Yes. So, why we need to do resource conservation? In order to keep it for our future generations. For that we need to use resources very carefully. So, resource conservation means using resources carefully, and giving them time to get renewed. Giving them time to get renewed is known as resource conservation. Resource conservation is using the resources carefully and giving them time to get renewed is known as resource conservation. Conserving resources, page number 5. Take page number 5, underline second paragraph. You can see why we need to write over there beside that paragraph, beside this picture you can write down why we need to conserve resources. What is the basic thing why we need to conserve these resources? If we are not careful, then even renewable resources can become very scarce. If we are not carefully utilizing the resources, renewable resources can be very scarce. And the non-renewable ones can definitely get exhausted. For these 2 reasons, we should conserve the resources. Coming to next paragraph, underline using resources carefully and giving them time to get renewed is called resource conservation. Underline the point, using resources carefully and giving them time to get renewed is called resource conservation. Close the bracket over there. Now, next topic we have to study is what is sustainable development. In the fact box you can see what is sustainable development. Carefully utilizing resources so that besides meeting the requirements of the present, you can take care of future generations. Yes. So, we should keep the resources for our future generations, otherwise they won't have enough resources. Yes. So, we should keep in mind that we should use the resources according to our requirements only. We should not use it carelessly. So, underline this box, carefully utilizing resources carefully to meet the requirements of the present and take care of future generation. Underline. So, sustainable development means we should balance the use of resources so that we can conserve them for the future generation. In the paragraph also underline balancing the need to use the resources and also conserve them for the future is called sustainable development. Now, what are the different ways of conserving resources? How can we conserve these resources? First point is, put point number 1 there, reducing consumption, recycling and reusing things. So, you can see in different ways we reuse things. We actually in the last vacation we all done reusing of things. Yes, we all know how to make carpets out of the old clothes. We all done different way of reusing the things, and recycling can also be done, and reducing consumption. Reducing consumption means utilizing things according to your needs only. We should not overuse the things. So, all this can be done in order to reserve the resource, conserve the resource, in order to conserve the resources. So, that much you have to study from this page. First paragraph, second paragraph and third paragraph, fact box also underline. Now, next topic is, now coming to principles of sustainable development. Page number 6, take page number 6, some principles of sustainable development. What all we have to follow for this sustainable development. So, last paragraph you can see, it is our duty to ensure that, underline from there, it is our duty to ensure that all uses of renewable resources are sustainable, that we should take care of the all different resources. The diversity of life on the earth is conserved. Diversity of life on the earth should be conserved. We should keep it properly. Then the damage to the natural environment system is minimized. That means what? Deforestation, depletion of natural resources should be minimized. So, all these 3 points we have to study from page number 6. It is our duty to ensure onwards till the minimized, put a bracket over there. Now, some principles of sustainable development, the fact box it is given. Please study that along with sustainable development. You may get questions based on sustainable development and what are the principles of sustainable development. First point, respect and care for all forms of life. We should respect and care all the living and non-living things in the world. We should respect and care all forms of life. Improve the quality of human life. Then conserve the earth's vitality and diversity. Whatever we see in the world, we should conserve, we should know how to use it carefully and keep it proper. Diversity also, different type, you can see land terrains, all this you should conserve, forest, all this should be conserved. Minimize the depletion of natural resources. Depletion means what? Damaging the natural resources should be minimized. We are not damaging, actually our needs are increasing, so we take more and more natural resources like for wood from the forest. Yes, we all need wood for making furniture. There are different uses we always have our needs. So, that should be minimized. To the depletion of natural resources should be minimized. Next, change personal attitude and practices towards the environment. We should all be what? Environment. We should keep our environment neat and clean. We should not pollute our environment. All this comes under this. Enable communities to take care of their own environment. So, each community, nowadays you can see each community is taking care of their environment by planting new trees, by cleaning their surroundings. All this are good for us as well as for the nature. Yes, we can conserve this natural resources. So, these are the basic principles of sustainable development we have to study along with the topic. So, this is for today, children. So, let us recap the portion once again, whatever we have done. Today we have started with natural resources. Natural resources are classified on the basis of level of development, origin, stock and distribution. Then classification we done. Resource conservation means using resources carefully and giving them time to get renewed is known as resource conservation. Now, what is sustainable development? Carefully utilizing resources so that beside meeting the requirements of the present, we can take care of our future generations. Now, basic principles we need to study. So, I hope all of you understood this topic very well. Frame the questions as much as you can. Mark the answers in your textbook only. Children, today we are ending our session here. Hope you all understood the topic. Thank you. Have a nice day.